This is Huawei Band 7. I've been walking with him on my arm for about a month now, and before that, I had a Huawei Band 6 on my arm for more than a year. But this video will tell specifically about Huawei Band 7, and about its differences with the 6th version. Let's get started. We start with the appearance, and it's just incredibly difficult to distinguish the bracelets. When they are lying on the table, I take a long look at which of them is the 7th. Outwardly, it is almost a copy. There are slightly different straps here. The new one has a different mount, and it's generally a little thinner and kind of a little harder than the 6th one. The clasps here, as before, are plastic, and, as before, the bracelets are almost not felt on the hand. The new strap on this thing has a locking tongue. So by chance, the tip of the strap now does not pop out when worn. Perhaps you can see that there are scuffs on the bag on the 6th bracelet. It's hard to say what will happen in a year, but there are no scuffs on the 7th, of course. It's natural. It is also natural to like this video and subscribe to my channel with a bell. It's absolutely not difficult for you, but it's very important for the YouTube algorithm when you watch my videos. Put likes, leave your comments and subscribe while watching. Thank you. Huawei Band 7, that is, its body has become 1 mm thinner and 2 grams lighter. Of course, it is difficult to notice the weight, despite the fact that it sticks out less, it is quite noticeable. These are offerings, but there is almost no difference to the eye. Screens. The basic parameters of the bracelets are the same. I didn't notice the difference in brightness. As you may know, there is no automatic brightness sensor here, so you need to adjust its brightness with your hands. So, I have a brightness level both there and there. It's a 3, it's enough for me. For convenience, there is a decrease in brightness at night. It is both there and there. Both the 6th and 7th bracelets. Huawei Band 7 has touchscreen activation right out of the box, but the 6th one got this opportunity later after the firmware update was released. But in general, there is a very solid difference in the screens. This is the presence of a constantly active display. Well, or Audi functions, as anyone understands. Hey, only the 7th bracelet has Audi, they didn't deliver such a thing to the 6th. In the 7th band, this is implemented as a set of screensavers for the screen. You can select one of the preset ones. And if there is a review on my channel, Huawei Fit 2, if you haven't seen it, take a look. These screensavers may be different for different dials, then here the choice is, of course, limited. Well, the 6th, I repeat, does not have this function at all. The operating systems of the bracelets are different. For the 7th, it is Harmony. For the 6th, it is a proprietary OS, without some beautiful, harmonious name. From the noticeable changes, it seemed to me that the 7th bracelet has slightly smoother interface animations. The rest of the difference, it would seem, is not so noticeable, except for some very cool features and important additions. Well, of course, not all of them are important, but nevertheless, I will tell you about them now. For example, in the weather app on the 7th there are phases of the moon and the position of the sun, on the 6th there is none. On the 7th there is a running index section, on the 6th there is none. In the same section, the 7th shows the level of load and the degree of recovery after training. The 6th one also has these things, but they are only visible in recordings after training, and the running index can be viewed in the Huawei application itself on a smartphone. In short, the 7th is a little more convenient and right on the bracelet. But probably the most important software update for the 7th bracelet is the ability to answer calls using SMS templates and the ability to answer messages to messengers using templates. Templates can be customized and added via the Huawei app on your smartphone, and this is extremely convenient. I constantly respond to messages in the cart, a really cool feature, really convenient to use. I really missed it on Huawei Band 6. Another feature is the ability to take photos. Huawei Band 7 can do it, the 6th can't. A cool thing, perhaps, will be useful to fans of selfies or group portraits. Well, a very subtle change is, for example, in the default training menu, only 9 for the 6th and 11 different workouts for the 7th bracelet are available. But this is definitely not critical, since both there and there are 96 different training modes available for tracking, and they can be configured according to your preferences. The main functions of the hardware are the same here. Well, functionally, respectively, the bracelets are literally twins. They can constantly monitor the pulse and oxygen in the blood. The readings there are quite adequate, high quality. The main thing is that the strap fits to the hand. Bracelets count steps, calories, activity time. A small step-by-step comparison. I ran with 2 devices on my hands. This is Huawei Band 7. The same distance since the morning, the watch is the same on my hands. They know how to measure stress, they know how to start breathing exercises. It's for stress relief. The watch helps to control the playback of content on the smartphone. There is a pause, volume and rewind. On runs, for example, it is extremely convenient. What's nice is that the bracelets can change the dials, and there are a lot of them. You can download them for free and buy them. They are simple and there are multifunctional ones that have direct access, for example, to a timer, a stopwatch or an alarm clock on the clock. And yes, all these functions are also on the bracelets on the 6th and 7th. As without notifications about calls and from applications, they are both there and there. They work perfectly on both versions of bracelets with the same difference that on the 7th, I repeat, there are answers in templates. You can just look at ours in the same notification, and you can just reset the call and that's it. Well, autonomy. Both models are claimed to have 2 weeks of autonomy on a single charge. In real use, I often got a result in the form of 7 or 10 days, depending on the activity of use and on the screen mode. Well, that's exactly a week. Exactly 7 days ago in the evening, just like now, I charged the bracelet and at the moment its charge is 14%, that is, I can still safely use it tomorrow, not charge it, just so as not to worry and not think about when it needs to go in, at what point I will put it on charging now. Of course, on the 7th model, you can turn on a constantly active display and the autonomy will be at the level of about 3.5 to 4 days. Well, you can't trample on physics here. When the screen lights up all the time, it discharges noticeably faster, although this is also a very good result. Well, almost 4 days is cool. He is at the time of the shore from above the threshold value of the pulse. At the same time, there is also training with rain and checking studies from moisture. I constantly use the 7th bracelet to track my runs, and I really like the fact that it helps me track all the necessary data, such as cadence, pulse and other indicators, but it almost does not consume a charge. As a result of running for almost an hour and a half in duration and a length of 14 kilometers, the bracelet was discharged by only 4%. These are really cool indicators. So with the autonomy of both the new and the old model, everything is fine, and that's why I like these bracelets. As part of the Help Leeming program, I remind you that you need to drink water regularly. Do not forget about this process, because it is very important for well-being. This was my short comparison of the 6th and 7th versions of the Huawei bracelet. If you still have questions about them, then throw them in the comments, I will try to answer them. Well, with you was Roma and Huawei bracelet. Before the new videos.